Ever wonder how to get the best looking lawn on the block? You know, the kind where all the neighbors drive by slowly and stare at your well manicured masterpiece thinking you must be a turf wizard? Yeah, we thought so. At Earthway Products, we have your back with all the right lawn and garden tools that allow you to dominate and win the prize of best looking lawn on the block. We have all types of spreaders that are professional grade, built for accuracy, efficiency, and toughness. Simply said, Earthway products are engineered to last, and we have over 50 patents to prove it. That's our way of saying you can have confidence that our products will get the job done and make your life easier. We also have a fertilizer program that will help you grow a lawn greenskeepers will envy. So whether you're a homeowner, lawn care operator, facilities manager, business owner, or golf course superintendent, Earthway is here to help you make a perfect first impression. Stop by earthway.com and experience the difference. That's earthway.com. Proudly American made in America's heartland, Bristol, Indiana.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, happy Friday to all of you guys listening in across the fruited plain. We really appreciate you guys listening in and checking out the podcast. Really quick, we got an interesting show today. I just wanted to kind of run down a list of different items here, talking about the spring rush, end of month billing, CRMs, having a lot of conversations with a lot of folks. We did 4 coaching calls this week, just have a lot of info, a lot of data that's coming in. And man, I'll tell you what, it's been a long week. It's been a long month of May. Here's what I will tell you. We just wrapped up May, and for us, it was our best month ever in the history of our company. We worked our butts off. Myself, Rob, Mark, a couple other part-time guys that helped out. We moved probably about 125, 130 yards of mulch, full mowing schedule, the whole deal. And I'll tell you what, I don't want to be Mr. Superman superhero over here. I'm telling you what, I am beat exhausted. I'm excited. I'm like energized and recharged from the work that we're doing. But at the same point, we are doing everything we can to just get the work done. I don't know if you guys can relate right now. Up here in Michigan, we've had some interesting weather, very aggressive growing conditions for the lawns. They're all just taking double cuts. The grass is seeding or going to seed, if you will. So the stalks and the little seed sprouts at the end, which makes all of our lawns basically need to be double cut. We're trying to get all of our edging in for all of our, sites to make them look nice and crispy. And then sometimes that goes from bi-weekly to, hey, once every 3 weeks, right? One of those deals. And so this week that we're finishing up here, we did finish up. We finished strong. We have all of our Monday through Thursday mowing done for the week. We're actually tackling 2 mulch jobs today as you guys are listening to the show. I am doing a 1.5 yard mulch job to finish up at a commercial site. And then we have a 7-yard residential mulch job that we're doing today. But just overall, one of the things before I jump into this episode, I don't have this whole lengthy talk or anything today. This is just kind of shop talk and just kicking it with you guys. Is after doing 4 coaching calls this week, and you can always book those at launchpreneuracademy.com. The common theme was everybody just trying to survive the spring rush. And let's be honest, I know some people are just having their best years ever, and we're having our best season so far off to the races. But man, that does not come without putting in some hours. We've been working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks in the field, plus office time and bidding time, and then add a podcast, add YouTube, add all that other stuff, and it really starts to add up. So outside of that, I was talking to a couple other guys, and they're short-staffed, which we all are. It seems like we all always need an extra person. But I talked to a couple guys that they were down a guy or two, or they need to hire another guy or two, and they're just working the 60, 70-hour week deal, right? I was actually hanging with Logan Manning from Earth Advocate down in Columbus, Ohio with the almonds as well over Memorial Day weekend. And Logan's like, man, he goes, I've been putting in some 70-hour weeks. We're hiring new people. We're building the team. But you could just see he's got bloodshot eyes. He's got the bags under his eyes. And so I guess the reason I just wanted to talk about this is maybe just give some some encouragement or some some confidence to some of you guys out there that are putting in the hours in the spring rush. I'm doing it. You're doing it. The guy next to you is doing it. It is just the spring rush. It comes with the territory. I won't say it's easy. It's not been an easy, 5-6 weeks of us. We've had our best month ever, but I'll tell you what, we probably worked harder this month than ever before because I have goals too. Just like you guys, there's a reason for it. There's a means to an end. Liz and I are really excited about breaking ground on the home in the next couple months. We have a number that's in mind. We're getting closer and closer to it every single day. Not just for what we need for the house, but just what we want to have in our accounts and all that stuff after we, drop a hefty down payment, right? So we're being really conservative in that approach. But Liz and I, we're on the same page with why we're working so hard, why we're, helping you guys grow as much as possible with all the products and services and the content to, working hard in the field for our actual lawn care landscaping business. By the way, I got to say this really quick while I got you guys. Last month, the month of May, was the most downloaded month ever for our podcast. I had mentioned that a couple of days ago because we were already breaking the record. Probably about a week ago, I think I mentioned that on the show. But the final number was like 114 or 117,000 downloads, which is just absolutely crazy. The momentum of the show has been second to none. We're growing by 20,000 downloads per month. It's growing like numbers I've honestly never seen before. Our first year doing the podcast, right out of the gate, explosive growth. Second year, it was growing kind of flat from like what I'm used to. But I don't know if there's just more podcast shows or maybe our content was stagnant. I don't know. I don't feel like that. I think last year was one of our best years ever for the guests and all that we brought on. But as I'm always an extreme ownership guy, trying to own it and trying to figure this all out. Well, any which way, this year, the podcast is growing like crazy. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you guys that are brand new, that are listening in. Thank you for listening, and thank you for making us in the top 100 all the time, top 150 on the podcast charts. It's really, really cool. And but man, like maybe that's why we're getting so many downloads, is because so many people are putting in so many hours, and you guys are working 12, 13, 14 hours a day, myself included. So maybe that's why we got a little bit more downloads and radio time and listen time. So I got a couple notes here, like I said. First one I put, it's been a long month. These are my notes. These are my sophisticated show prep. Number two, I put in tandem to that was get over the hump, right? So for us personally, Liz and I, a lot of you guys know our story is that we run hard for about 8 weeks in the spring, whenever the weather kind of breaks up here in Michigan from mid-March through basically the middle part of June, a little bit after Memorial Day weekend. Most of our mulch is installed, our flowers are installed, the lawns are mowed, they're edged, the seeding's done. What else, guys? All the spring aerations, dethatchings, irrigation startup for the most part. Commercial mulch is installed. All of this kind of stuff. It's a busy all hands on deck 10 weeks. My company, it's mandatory 6 days a week from when we break ground, but when we hit the spring rush from mid to late March through Memorial Day weekend, first part, basically through the end of May, it's 6 days a week. It's just what we do. So no days off for anybody. Saturdays, we try to be done by 2-3 o'clock, but it's just company policy. It's 6 days a week. We got to get it all done, right? Just like you guys. But I did write, get over the hump. And now here's where we're at right now. Liz and I, in 2 weeks, we're going to be taking a little vacay for about 4 or 5 days. We're leaving on a Wednesday through Sunday. Going to go up north to Charlevoix area, Bay Harbor, Michigan, which is just where we like to celebrate and where we like to relax. And it's a different pace up there. But I'm telling you guys what, if you're hanging out by your teeth, I was talking to a couple of folks, like I said, this week in coaching calls, and let's be honest. Let's real talk. Maybe you're working a little bit later than you want. Maybe the family's understanding, but they're they understand, but they still want to see you home. The kids miss you. The wife misses you. Then the wife goes from missing you to resentment because you're working so much. Then you have the whole conversation. I'm working hard for us, for you, for me, for us, for the family, for the Disney trip, for the school, for the new car, for the whatever, right? The private school for next year because we're tired of the school systems. Maybe you guys haven't had those conversations. Maybe that's just me. Which, by the way, as you guys already know, last minute plug for Together in the Trades. Pretty much all of that is locking down over the next 2 weeks, and we are excited about descending on Nashville, Tennessee, June 25th. You guys can still get some last minute tickets at togetherinthetrades.com. That's our marriage conference. I think we have 120 people now registered for the event. So thank you so much for those of you guys picking up tickets and that are going to see us down there in Nashville. It's going to be a really good time. But the point is, we're getting over the hump here of all of the work that we're trying to do. And so the other day I was having a conversation with Liz, and I was like, you know what? It's one of those deals where I'm just tired, I'm getting exhausted, and I'm trying to get all the work done and I was just whining, right? But that's one of those things here where I was just talking to Liz the other day, and she's like, you just got to get over the hump and just see that we're getting through all the work and all the exhausting days, the nights, the weekends, the long hours, right? So for some of you guys out there that are in the exact same boat, I'm preaching to the choir. I know you guys are putting in work, and there's a lot that's going on. But man, I'm telling you what, like I get fussy, I get whiny this time of year. I don't know if I'm allowed to admit that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, hey, I'm not Superman over here either. Like we're putting in the time. The other day, for example, I woke up like 10 till when I was supposed to be at the trailer for the, get started with the day. I woke up because I don't know if you guys can ever relate, but I woke up and you just notice that the light in the room is a little bit different. And you're like, it's not 6:50 in the morning. It's more like 7:50 in the morning. And so I texted Rob. I'm like, hey, dude, thankfully I live 5 minutes down the road from my trailer and the storage locker where I keep my equipment. And it takes me 5 minutes to kind of Superman change and get ready in the morning. And I texted Rob, I said, hey, dude, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. He goes, actually, no problem. Same thing. So am I. Because it was one of those 93-degree days or 91-degree days that Monday or Tuesday we were working Memorial and then Tuesday. And we're just getting our butts kicked. We're just, getting exhausted out here, working and grinding away. So it's not a woe is me. It's just hey, for all of you guys that are out there paying dues, grinding it out, so are we. And I just wanted to mention that because, like I said, in a couple of coaching calls, some folks are like, dude, how are you dealing with the season and the spring rush? And I'm like, bro, I'm getting killed just like you guys are. And they're like, okay. It's not just me working like 70, 80 hours a week and mowing sun up to sundown and can't find help. And, I don't say overcommitting or overextending, but at the same point, we're all just, struggling and circling around to try to get as much work done with the expectations and the commitments we've made to our customers, right? So just going down here really quick, one other quick point I wanted to talk about was this might be a timely thing here. Maybe some of you guys can still incorporate that. Maybe you have to wait till July. And this is I'm sure a sensitive topic and a controversial topic. It doesn't need to be, but it's just talking about mid-season price increases or rate adjustments. If you didn't do it in the spring, I guarantee you're feeling it now, right? I guarantee you because you're like, well, I only went up 3% or 5% or 7% or $1, $2 when everybody was suggesting or proposing go up 10, 12, 15%, $5, $10 on a cut. So your minimum's $40, your other lawns are 60s, the other lawns are 80s. And I did a whole podcast talking about gas prices and rate increases versus surcharges. I'm a much more of a big fan of rate increases versus surcharges because once the gas prices come back down, you're going to have to get rid of all those surcharges. I would just say raise your rates in general. Of course, we have a rate adjustment letter you can get at launchpreneuracademy.com in our store. And that's where you can get the contracts. We're actually selling a bunch of snow contracts lately, which is great, awesome. Super appreciate the support, but also it's May. But ironically enough, I was telling a story a couple of podcasts ago. I was doing a dethatching aeration dethatching, and the guy was like, hey, you need to invoice me for snow. And I'm like, bro, it's April. And he's like, yeah, but I just want to make sure I'm on your list. And I'm like, all right. So thank you guys for the support of anything you purchase, obviously at launchpreneuracademy.com. That's really what funds the hobby. But we're seeing a lot of contracts move in general. But really, when we're talking about the rate adjustment letters, if you didn't pick one up and you have it, you download it, you can customize it, you have it forever. Now would be a really, really good time to do that because it's a new month. Right, we all just did our end of month billing for May, or maybe you're about to do it here over the weekend. I know a lot of folks listening in are about to start sending out all their invoices. We just did all of ours with a charge count on file 2 days ago at the end of the month on Wednesday here. But here's my point. If you didn't raise your rates or you didn't raise your rates enough, and I know some people are going to say, well, it's tacky to do a mid-season rate adjustment. I don't disagree. It's kind of hard to do that with your commercial sites. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Right. And so if gas was $3.75 a gallon 4 months ago when you sent out all your residential lawn prices, and now gas is $4.99 on average for the country, don't even get me started on that whole route and rant. Do what you guys need to do to grow your company and to make it as profitable as possible and not to lose profit out there to the rising gas prices and inflation. So I know we talk about rate adjustment letters all spring long. That's totally cool, totally great. But if you guys didn't do that or didn't do it enough, I was just talking to somebody, like I said, on a coaching call. He said, dude, what do I do? I got these sites. Like I'm getting killed on it with gas at $5 a gallon. And I said, well, what did you raise your rates? And they said 3%. And it was totally, an honest, conversation. It wasn't like, hey, you messed up. It wasn't like top down like that. We were just pitching and catching and talking and trying to figure some stuff out. And I said, well, you really only got like an option of, slapping a surcharge on there for gas because and the client's just going to have to understand. It's just one of those things. And it's going to be an awkward conversation. But my point is don't avoid those awkward conversations if you can't. So if you have $40 lawns and you need to go up $2, it is what it is. I don't want to see you guys just doing work to keep it and be like, oh, next year I'm going to go up on those prices. You might have to do for the most part on commercial sites. You bid it. You got to be kind of true to your word. They budgeted for it. That's how it works. And you can make the same case for residential, but let's not get lost in the weeds. But my point is, we're in a new month. If you wanted to raise your prices and raise your rates, I would suggest making those calls or emails this week, over the weekend, or in your invoicing paragraph of the description. Include that somewhere. Whether you use the rate adjustment letter and send it off with it, or you just download it, buy it, support it, whatever, and then use the language and the lingo and put it in your paragraphs of your invoices, that's fine too. My point is, I'm getting a lot of folks saying, hey, I didn't expect gas to be $5. I mean, first off, what did you expect 18 months ago? We all kind of realized that when the election was over. But number two, maybe you were setting on all your pricing in, like I said, January, February, March, and now you're realizing gas is $5 a gallon. By the way, I just saw an article the other day. They're reprogramming the gas pumps in California to be able to do whatever that would be, like 5 digits. So $10 gasoline, because they all top out at 4 digits or 3 digits, or you guys know what I'm saying, $9.99, right? With the little clickers. It sounds like Y2K type stuff where they had to reprogram all the clocks and the banks and all that crap. So they're reprogramming and adding an extra line now on the gas pumps in California because gas is $7, $8, $9 a gallon. What in the world is going on around here? I'd ask our president, but he doesn't know either because he's asking the same question every day as he eats his pudding every night. That being said, if you guys are feeling it in the line items, and if you guys are feeling it on your P&L, and you guys are feeling it in your pocketbook and your profitability, and you're paying people more, and you're trying to keep up with inflation and trying to give them a cost of living increase, it is what it is. Add a couple bucks to the weekly mow price for your customers, okay? I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to do that, but if you're feeling it, have the fortitude, the guts, whatever you want to call it, to raise your rates a little bit. It's tacky, but it is what it is, okay? I'd rather be tacky than to lose money or to not make money for the rest of the season, okay? That's just my suggestion. I was talking to somebody about that. I thought if it was helpful for him, it would probably be helpful for another 100 to 2,000 people listening to the show every day. Mid-season, by the way, one quick tip I'll give with that is do it at the end of a billing cycle. So that's why I talk about it now, kind of timely. It is the end of May, first part of June here. So if you haven't done that first cut of June, or you're just maybe one cut in, try to include that as quick as possible on your invoicing. If it's a little too late, you're listening to the show maybe next week, and you're like, I already mowed the first whole week of my route for June. I get that because we're kind of starting off on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Wednesday, Thursdays could still be part of your mow route. Monday through Thursdays, Monday through Wednesday for a lot of folks. A lot of other folks do landscaping Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I get it. You might have to just bite the bullet through the month of June and then increase your prices in July. Does that make sense? So with our podcast, I've tried to give you guys practical stuff. So I'm in the field. I'm doing this every single day. I want to give you guys things that we're doing, literally practically speaking. And I just want to help you guys make as much money as possible. These are just a couple tips that we're doing in our business, and then also that I could share with you guys. Does that make sense? What else do we got here? Updating your one other thing, a lot of people are asking me for CRM. Which CRM are we using? Questions about Jobber versus Yardbook and so on and so forth. Look, they're all great. They're all good. If it would help you guys, if I had a 20% off link for Jobber, let me know. I'll get you guys one. I don't use Jobber, but I understand folks want to save money and all that mess. I don't have a link for Jobber, but millions of people do. They have 20 different people who are quote unquote influencers, pushing Jobber, which is awesome. Great. Good for them. And they're great people all behind the scenes at Jobber. I've got no skin in the game with them right now. So if you guys want a link, let me know. Maybe I can get one. If I get a kickback, great. If I don't, I don't care. Whatever. They can take the house. But my point is get a CRM. We use Yardbook. It's been great for us. It's arguably free because it is, unless you upgrade. But even then, it's like $30-$40 a month. Here's what I would say is I have a lot of folks right now. They are moving from paper invoices and checks to online bill pay services and what's the best way to say it? Like Square to Venmo to just whatever. They're doing something digital at least. And that's good because they're getting people's names and numbers and emails or names and addresses, and then they text their phone number. Obviously, the ideal situation, in my opinion, would be you have 100 clients with 100 charge cards, 100 credit cards on file with Jobber or Yardbook or whoever your person is, and then charge card, all the way down. We charged like 18 grand in mowing just a couple days ago. Okay, that was pretty good. That was for our residential stuff. Like, not too bad for your boy here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to win too. So anybody who ever wants to shoot me a message, say, hey dude, keep up the good work, and dude, proud of you. Hey, we'll take the compliments too. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there making it happen just like you guys. But my point is, get a CRM over the next couple weeks and months. But here's the deal. It might be a thing that you want to adopt over winter. Okay, so right now, it would not be, in my opinion, the best time to totally adopt a new CRM unless you're able to really commit the time to it. Right now, you're probably more in survival mode and trying to grow and get customers. I was just talking to somebody the other day and I said, maybe consider updating your CRM in the fall or winter, but right now, still move everybody on whatever platform it is to a charge card on file or an online bill payment. Does that make sense? So, because here's where I'm trying to skate the puck to. In 6-7 months, you sign up with Jobber or Yardbook or whoever. At least that customer is familiar with digital payment and having them give you their card to you on file, whatever way that looks like. Does that make sense? So later, when you're like, hey, we updated our software from Square to a service called Yardbook, you'll see a new email come through to repopulate your credit card on file. They're like, okay, no problem. They've already been paying online for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Does that make sense? So a lot of folks listening in, I know so many folks are transitioning, like I said, from paper invoices and checks and cash to credit card on files and credit card. That's great. But what I would say is, hey, maybe continue running the business, making the money. It's like somebody saying, well, we're in the Christmas rush right now. Imagine retail Christmas. It's like somebody saying the first week of December after Black Friday, hey, let's rearrange the store and put the checkout somewhere else. Like it's not really a priority right now. Doesn't really matter how you transition the store. You just want to get people in the store. You just want to get people buying stuff. And so same thing with us here. It doesn't really matter what CRM you're using this time of year. You need to make sales, sling mulch, cut grass, right? Like we got to do craft time and get paid. So some people are like, hey, should I sign up with this or that or the other thing? Look, yes, absolutely you should. And you should try to populate this stuff from 10 p.m. at night to 2 a.m. and nights and weekends, or get your wife to help you or whatever, or your husband to help you or whatever. But don't get distracted switching to a CRM or adding a CRM versus putting in craft time. Does that make sense? But what I would say is get as many customers as you can moved over to charge cards on file and online invoicing with whatever you got at the time. So even if you're using Square, or whatever, that's fine. Get all their customer info. It's going to be so much easier for you to transition them to a CRM like a Yardbook or a Jobber or whatever. So end of month billing. And then the last thing I put here really quick was this just seems to be a common theme that I've talked to a lot of people with, by the way, like on Instagram as well. I shoot DMs with you guys back all the time. I love interacting with you guys. I get so many compliments and feedback saying, dude, like you actually like answer back and you shoot DMs back and forth and you send memes and you post funny stuff. Like, for the most part, I'm super active on Instagram. I think I'm probably one of the more active lawn care people on Instagram, or just influencers, right? Like I message people all the time that blue checks, and other people have accounts as big as mine or smaller than mine or whatever. And they never DM back. And I'm like, dude, you have like 15,000 followers. How can you not get back to your people? I have 50,000 followers, whatever, on Instagram. I get back with everybody. I get through 200 DMs a day, literally every day. It takes me 45 minutes. It's just habit. Any which way, it's a whole nother rant. But I'm seeing a common theme out there. And this, I don't want this to be an indictment on anybody by any means, but I'm seeing a lot of folks overcommitting and being spread too thin. And here's the deal. I don't think any of us listening in are super struggling to get work right now. It seems like there's an abundance of work. There's an abundance of money to be made. There's just not enough people to do all the work. This is what I'm noticing. I don't know if you guys can relate. But yet there's so many of us still committing to stuff we shouldn't be committing to. And I say that with love because I'm in the exact same boat. There's stuff that I'm committing to and I'm trying to get better at it. That's why I'm talking real talk right now. But some of you guys are, bidding sites that you shouldn't be bidding, bigger commercial stuff, bigger apartments, and you don't have the manpower or really the energy, the interest level. Like you're making enough money, you're happy. And 5 years ago, you got started to make money. 5 years later, today, you're now making money, but you're still telling your wife, hey, I got to work Saturday. I got to work Sunday. And you don't have to. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Find that balance for yourself, and find that. One thing I say a lot, and if somebody ever wants to attribute this to me, I'd be, I think that'd be really cool saying, but because I don't have a lot of like good quips, rent is you never own success. You only rent it. And rent is due every day, like Darren Hardy or whoever said it, right? I don't have a lot of like smart sayings like that because I'm not a smart dude. But what I will say is, one thing I've tried to communicate on this podcast is one thing that never shows up on a P&L statement is happiness. People are never measuring happiness. And you're like, well, my company's profitable or percentage is this or net profit that. That's fine. That's cool. That's how you should run your business. We just had Carla on from CPA, Cycle CPA, and had a ton of great feedback from that episode on Wednesday. But at the end of the day, and she's super smart, but at the end of the day, like one thing that doesn't show as much as she can manage your books and be a great bookkeeper is where's happiness? Where is your spousal relationship? Where is being a present father to your kids, right? And trust me, I'm definitely not the standard. I'm doing my best over the last couple of years to manage both and to spin a couple different plates, just like you guys. But I just wanted to bring it to your forefront of your mind and just have you guys evaluate maybe what you're still saying yes to, and do you still need to say yes to it? And I say that with love because I was on a coaching call with somebody and they're really overcommitted. If they just had the help, it wouldn't be that hard to get the work done. But we all know right now that the conversation is it's harder to find help. And so it's a lot harder for us to meet all of our commitments, right? And so something's got to give. In that example, either we hire and we get the job done and we don't take on as much work, and then we fulfill our current responsibilities and duties and obligations, right? And no right or wrong answer. The person we were talking to, he's like, yeah, dude, I got applications out. I got ads out for applications. We got some new people getting hired in. And so he's fixing the problem. But at the same point, I don't want to see people like struggle. I don't want to see, well, let me take that back. I don't mind if some people struggle because you're learning and through your test is your testimony. But at the same point, just a rant that I put down here on my little note sheet here was don't keep committing and overcommitting to yourself this year, frankly, ever again. Learn to say no. The whole Warren Buffett, out of 100 opportunities that come across my desk, I learned to say no to 99% of them. And so that being said, if you are taking on something, get a dang high premium on it, like a 20, 30% premium, 50% premium. You don't need it right now. I would venture to say there's very few people I talk to. They're like, dude, I just don't have enough work. Not the last couple of years. And I've done a couple hundred coaching calls, which I'm really, really grateful for. And we appreciate the support of Entrepreneur Academy when you guys do that. I'm supporting you guys. You guys are supporting me. I haven't really heard too many conversations. Hey, man, I can't get any work. Hey, man, the phone's not ringing. That's not the conversation I'm getting. Usually it's, dude, I got so much work, so much equipment. I don't have enough help. Can you help me out? And I'm like, look, bro, I'm not Nostradamus here. I can't just wave a wand or predict something for you. We got to hire people. We got to fill roles. But at the same point, if you can't, then trim back work. And that also means raise the prices of the work that you have so you don't have to feel obligated to take on that next apartment complex or condo complex. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying don't keep expanding and don't keep, your conquest and don't, imperialize your whole town, because you should. It's just be smart, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Maybe that helps somebody out there. I wrote down here something. This was a really, really good thought. And this is where I'm going to end it is I was having on one of the coaching calls I was doing with somebody, I said this really funny rant. And the phone went silent and he's like, dude, I feel like I've had the exact same statement with my wife 100 times. And the point is, here's the story is, and I've noticed myself falling into this trap, and I don't know if you guys can relate, but this is the real talk, right? I get home and Liz goes, "How's your day?" Because she meets me at the front door at the top of our steps because she's a good wife, and that's what I told her. I need her every day for her to be a perfect spouse or a better spouse, or my expectation for a great spouse. It's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Comes together in trades. You might hear a little bit about this. But there's things I need. And I said, when I get home, I need you to greet me at the door, the family, the kids, eventually. I need to be waited on. I want people to see me when I come home. Okay. I said, I want to take my armor off, lay it at the front door. And I want to, not like there's trumpets and horns blaring and she's like feeding chocolate covered strawberries into my mouth. Although that would be pretty nice, but, one thing at a time. But I said, when I get home, I need this, this, and this out of you. And then when I get home, by the way, she needs this and this and this out of me. Typically, it's a break from Emmy, and just help with getting ready dinner and just giving Liz a 10-minute break, right? Any which way, there was a period for about, I don't know, man, 2, 3, 4 years, probably a decade really, but 2, 3, 4 years. I would say at least 3 years. I'd get to the top of the steps, and she's like, "How's your day?" I go, "Man, I'm so sick and tired of this. This made me mad, this frustrated me, this pissed me off, this customer did this job that, the mower this, the equipment that, my trailer this, my guys this, whatever." Really my guys, because, I've never complained about people like that, but really it's like, the route or the workload or the schedule or the whatever, right? And I would just be like complaining. And then invariably, I don't know if you guys can ever relate, but this is where you might have the hothead moment and kind of blow up. But Liz would say, "Well, isn't it your own business? Aren't you self-employed? Why are you tolerating this? Or why do you do this to yourself?" She goes, "Nobody's doing this to you. You're not, she goes, you're self-employed. Nobody's doing this to you. Your boss didn't make you do this." And I'd be like, "What did you say?" I was like, "What did you say?" And, but it was a really striking revelation I don't know if it was a couple months ago. Probably about 3 months ago, I just realized, I heard Caleb Allman say, stop doing things you don't want to do. And so there was a point here for myself where I'm like, I stopped doing things that I didn't want to do, but I've noticed that I would come upstairs and I'd be all frustrated and mad at something. And Liz goes, "You're self-employed. Nobody's making you do this stuff." And so I wrote it, and I was having a call with somebody and they were like, I was like, "Dude, you still there?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm here." He goes, "I've had this exact same conversation with my wife 100 times. And so I wrote a couple things down here. Get rid of the suck days. Get rid of the stuff that you don't like. Liz, I put down here, "You don't understand." I'm like, "You don't understand." She's like, "No, I don't understand. But I also understand that you're self-employed and you can say no to things." I was like, "Don't tell me what to do, woman." I wrote, "The tail doesn't wag the dog. It's your business. Stop overcommitting and stop being spread thin." I don't know if that can relate to anybody. I don't know why I wrote it down. Maybe it can help somebody, because it was helping me on this call with the guy, and I'm like talking to him and solving his problems. And at the same point, I'm like, you know what? This is something that has helped me the last couple of months, and I still need to get better at it. You know what I mean? And I did a podcast a couple months ago, right? Or maybe a month ago. I said, "Your problems aren't my problems, customer." I'm still getting 10 calls a day, just like you guys. It's wild. And I'm like, it's June now. If you haven't cut your grass yet, it's still not my problem. That's what I got for you guys right now. This has been helpful. This is just where I'm at, real time, real talk. I'm trying to help you guys grow. Trying to just try an open mic therapy session here for myself as well. Talking about pendulum swings. We're going to get over the hump here in another week or two. Take some time off, guys. Father's Day weekend is usually when Liz and I get to slow down a little bit, mid-June. But, you're in that last couple of weeks, maybe for the hump. Work a little bit harder until that real 80, 90 degree stuff kicks in, or the 100 degree stuff. God bless you guys that are dealing with that. Tennessee and the Carolinas and down south. That's a whole nother level. But try to sprint to the finish line because then you can enjoy summer, right? Then we're in the dog days of summer. Then it's just the weekly mowing, the weekly growth. It's pretty simple. The lawns kind of slow down a little bit, and it's not as brutal or hard out there to continue the business moving forward, right? We got some momentum. The wheels are spinning, but the spring rush is always difficult. It's always tough. So anyway, hope that helped with CRM and updating credit cards on file, end of month billing, just a couple of things I wrote down. But the pendulum swings. That's the last thing I'll say. And that's the thing that Liz told me yesterday when we were at dinner eating some burgers because we were grilling, #GrillGang. And I was just like, not complaining, but I'm like, man, I'm just tired, babe. I'm just tired. And she's like, it's okay. She goes, the pendulum swings. She goes, don't forget you had 3 months off in the winter. We did a bunch of traveling. We spent a lot of money. We did some plowing, but she goes, this is the time to work. And I'm like, and she wasn't like checking me, but she was checking me. And I'm like, you're right. Like a couple more weeks, we're over the hump and we see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So hopefully that's some encouragement to you guys. Hopefully you also see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it just motivates you guys to keep putting one step in front of the other, sometimes one day at a time. I don't know if anybody can relate, but I was talking to somebody, like I said on the call, and I said, bro, sometimes it's just literally one day at a time. And he's like, man, it feels like that right now. And he was like, I need to demo a 96-inch Exmark 96 gas mower. And I said, hey, schedule the demo for the day you do these huge properties. I got 80 acres that he mows. And I said, hey, you know what? 2 things. One, if you're going to try to find out if you want to buy that mower, schedule it on the day you mow the 80 acres. And then at least 2 things happen. One, you get your demo, you get to know if you like it. But number 2, you get your 80 acres mowed in half the time. And that's one more day off the schedule. And I don't care if it's just getting Wednesday lawns done by Thursday or Wednesday lawns done by Wednesday. At least they're done. It's one more day off the schedule. One more day, one more thing done, one more thing completed. And sometimes I don't know, I'm probably the unpopular opinion here, but sometimes it's a day-to-day, week-to-week, sometimes an hour-by-hour commitment during the spring rush. All right, so that's how it is with me. Maybe you guys are Superman and you guys are just like, no, man, 80 hours a week forever. I'm like, I get it. I'm in the exact same mindset, but I do get tired. I have a finite amount of time in life and energy and resource. You know what I mean? So that's what I got. All right. 2 other quick things was I saw Cujo Yardware drop some new lawn care pants. If you guys want to check those out, they just dropped some new pants. The Brian's 10 saves 10% there. And then I had another note. A couple people picked up the whole ball of wax in the month of May. Wanted to just highlight that and say thank you. That's the all-in bundle that we have. If you guys want to check that out, it's a tremendous value and resource. And just want to say that thanks for supporting Entrepreneur Academy. So, all right, guys, well, over and out. Have a great Friday. We're going to be out there right now, literally real time, slinging mulch ourselves. Maybe check out Instagram stories. Give us a follow there. And then also don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and also subscribe to the podcast. Hit that plus sign in the top right corner. I think that's what allows you guys to subscribe and get access to all the latest and greatest shows as they drop on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, guys, well, that's what I got here. Over and out. Have a great weekend. All my weekend warrior friends. Hope you guys are having a great time, and hope the rain holds off and you guys get all your lawns done as well. All right, guys, over and out. You guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll catch up with you here on the next one.
Ever wonder how to get the best looking lawn on the block? You know, the kind where all the neighbors drive by slowly and stare at your well manicured masterpiece thinking you must be a turf wizard? Yeah, we thought so. At Earthway Products, we have your back with all the right lawn and garden tools that allow you to dominate and win the prize of best looking lawn on the block. We have all types of spreaders that are professional grade, built for accuracy, efficiency, and toughness. Simply said, Earthway products are engineered to last, and we have over 50 patents to prove it. That's our way of saying you can have confidence that our products will get the job done and make your life easier. We also have a fertilizer program that will help you grow a lawn greenskeepers will envy. So whether you're a homeowner, lawn care operator, facilities manager, business owner, or golf course superintendent, Earthway is here to help you make a perfect first impression. Stop by earthway.com and experience the difference. That's earthway.com. Proudly American made in America's heartland, Bristol, Indiana.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.